Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention to something quite extraordinary?
You are listening to
Kayak Adventure Series.
Kayak Adventure Series. This is where you choose your own adventure. You want to be offshore? You want to be shallow? You want to go up the
You want
creek?
to have a kayak that is sophisticated?
Or a kayak that is simple?
You get to choose your own adventure.
Oh, looky there. That's
I
a
get to
micro
choose.
bag. I hope you brought the family. This is going to be wild. Hey, this adventure
Jake's
is
got a
going to
micro
be
bag.
amazing. What's up, everyone? It's Billy Kayaks. I'm here with Jake and Drew, and holy moly, we are getting so close. I'm so excited. This is close,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, we're getting so close. I mean, it's like the weather forecast is in, you know what I mean, the 10-day. You've got planning on leaving. I'm packing up things to leave and stressed about all the stuff that still has to get done, you know. I mean, it's crazy. So it's coming. We're in the 2-week window of pre-fishing. I mean, people are fishing, you know, some of their 4 days that they're allowed to practice. Some of their 4 days they're fishing right now. And we did just post a 21 and a quarter that someone had I don't know if they're in the tournament. I can't remember if I think it was Luke Turner was his name. So big shoalies are biting. The weather looks amazing.
I saw
Jake-
someone caught a 6-pounder.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was that that wasn't that 21 and a quarter, was it?
No, it was
No,
much.
that one looked thinner.
Yeah.
Someone got a 6-pound shoalie.
I mean, it looked like it was like spawny-ish,
Woo.
so might be a good thing.
I'm telling you, and I've told this at other podcasts, guys, I'm sending you guys to the best places, some of the best places in the country. You know what I mean? Like, that's what, and like, so you can hopefully have that chance to catch that, you know, 6-pounder shoal bass, or catch your first shoal bass for sure. But, and then at the other places, just catch tons of fish and numbers of fish and catch personal bests. It's all, I mean, in theory, on paper, right? We're at the right places at the right times, and we should be able to catch some big ones.
And I think you got you were on Alex Rudd podcast last night. I think you flipped him from the spotted bass, the Alabama bass, and then you flipped him over to trying to explain to him and I think he knew some of it, but you made a good case for go get a shoal bass.
Go get number. You know, he was having me ranking. That was a good show. If you go listen to Alex Rudd's last episode, it was really good. What is it? Underrated or overrated? He does.
Yeah.
It was actually cool because I was on with Bailey last night and Justin Largent from Serious Angler, and they do one called Trash It, Box It, or Fish It. And it's the same thing, you know, just different. Like, it's basically like F, marry, kill. You know what I mean? You got to pick. They give you these 3 options, and it's not just like fishing tackle and lures and things like that. It's all kinds of questions. You know, it could, like, one of them was milkshake, sweet tea, or root beer float. You got to trash one, box one, or fish one. You know, basically like which one is your favorite. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun weekend. So busy, so stressed. What's up? There's Mr. Ryan RJM. Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Hey, he said we could stream it across his channel. By the way, Billy, did you figure out how to stream it on your channel? You can go up there right now and click edit on the very top of this thing.
Yeah.
And then click the plus symbol. I'll stream it on. Is RGM in our system? I'll throw it on his channel right now if he's in here. I don't know if he's already set up with us.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it was
hit the plus symbol.
Yeah. I see
it. You could do it. But anyway, enough of that. Let's see. Jake, you got anything while we're lines in here? I know you got that lighting fixed. It looks much better.
Yeah, it keeps deciding that it's going to change. My shutter speed keeps changing, and you can see. So we'll switch to a different camera if it persists. But no, I mean, I'm excited to go down there. I can't believe it's so close. Like, I was thinking about that when I was dropping the kids off this morning. I was like, man, it's like next week. So
I know it seemed forever away when
I still got to get all my stuff together and because I haven't been fishing out of my river kayak much because I've been testing out that new CK2 venture and got to get the shoalie back on the wagon. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the right boat for this event, which, Shoaly Palooza presented by Crescent Kayaks, donating a unique Crescent Shoaly kayak. That's a flash color to, it's a raffle for charity for pediatric cancer. So, I feel like I'm the worst probably at promoting whenever I'm on the KAS stuff, the Crescent stuff, because I'm always trying to be like, I got to be neutral, and of course these other companies, other brands, dude, they are amazing products to these other kayak companies. But this first one is sponsored by Crescent Kayak, so you guys go check it out. And actually, there's a special prize, which I didn't even tell you guys this. Scott Butcher right now at Crescent Kayaks Factory is building together a giant accessory package, Crescent accessories, for the angler who catches the biggest shoaly in a Crescent shoaly. And this is,
Oh wow.
so we need a special prize for that angler who was supporting Crescent with buying one of those boats. So that's pretty cool.
He's doing it. He's doing it right now. You said we're going to go live now to the, no, he's not doing it right now. He might be.
Maybe oh, here we go. Jeff Little needs a StreamYard link. So hang on. Let me send that to him real quick. I forgot to email it to him. So let me do that while you guys talk about whatever else.
Yeah, we're up to 13 live viewers. I've got my prop here today. Big topic is GoPro. Obviously, the Kayak Adventure Series brought to you by GoPro. So
I got mine too.
A lot. You got yours? Here we go.
Yeah.
I got this Ulanzi stand too. I love this thing.
All right.
But,
Jeff's got it.
Yeah. Jeff has a lot of good tips. Jake and Jeff both, and Drew. It's going to be interesting to hear you guys, your perspective on this. If you go on YouTube and you search for GoPro, a lot of it is about hardware and the software and the settings where if you're mountain biking or you're skiing, and it's like, man, there's an opportunity for a kayak angler to go out there and just kind of, I know it's a niche market, but you can really dominate if you make some really good content, because it's so different what we do. We need to record, and I know this is like for main event, but we need to record all day. And so how do you pull that off? And
we'll get into it.
Yeah.
It's tricky, man. It's dangerous too. Like, especially if you're a river angler, like having a GoPro behind you, you gotta be smart about it. I lost a GoPro last year, being dumb. So, and it was basically, I went under some trees and.
Yeah, you gotta be smart for sure. But before we get into too much of the GoPro stuff with Jeff and both you guys who are really good at the GoPros, let's quickly go over the other quick news and notes. And one of the main ones I was going to mention was, and I'll share my screen because this is official now, so we can share the screen. Let me know when you guys got it. There you go. So the UBCO, the e-bike company here, click on the homepage here. You can see they are partnering with us for the Angler of the Year package. And you can click on their website here, UBCO.com. Click on product range, and you'll see they have a cool 2x2 special edition, which the Angler of the Year will win one of their bikes. It's not going to be this one. This is the highest level one. So, but I wanted to show it off on the graphic and show it off to you guys because it's just so cool, But they are going to win, if you go to product range here, they are going to win one that's worth $5,000. I think that one's like $7,000 or $8,000, but they are going to win one that's $5,000. This is a Hunt edition. This is the Adventure edition, which is basically kind of what you're getting. You're going to get the Work edition here, but it just, you probably could upgrade. Whoever wins, you can probably upgrade. The only difference on this one and the Adventure is just the rear view mirrors and the lights. So, yeah, I think that'll be pretty sweet, guys. So I'm excited about that. It's a $5,000 product. Your total prize package will get up to, I want to say it's around $7,500 now. And building, we sent out a press release yesterday. Did you guys see that press release by chance?
I did.
Yeah.
So I can, you guys can go check it out. We should post it on the kayakadventureseries.com, but we sent out the press release, and it's pretty sweet. I mean, the official release now, all the sponsors are locked in, everything's kind of done. And the package is $7,500. Of course, you'll get GoPro and, power pole and stuff like that. So that prize package will probably hit closer to 10 for the Angler of the Year. And the 2-man team package is still building as well. And it'll probably be closer to 10, all truth be told, when it's all said and done. But right now it's at 5,000. So for the team of the year. So we got a great prize package for the Angler of the Year, for the team of the year, which will be given away at Broodstock in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So that's pretty exciting. And if you want, I did share this information on another. I was going to wait to share it later, but I'll share this little tidbit about, since it's public and it's a live stream. We're getting close to 20 people. Usually we have about 30 or so or 40 on here live at some points. But I will say that announced this little part about Broodstock, because you guys don't know a lot about Broodstock yet. There's not a website page. a web page on the kayakadventureseries.com for Broodstock, right? So a lot of people don't know much about it, because some of the details are still getting finalized, and obviously centralized in Bowling Green, Kentucky, with Nolan Lake and the Barron River Lake and Green River Lake. I get them confused.
An area
One of those
I'm very familiar with, so I'm excited about it.
One of those is actually not in Battles. One of those lakes I just mentioned. I just can't remember which one it is, but it's a little too far. But anyway, there's like 2 or 3 good lakes and bounds, and then all the rivers and creeks. And, you guys are going to be surprised. Some big fish are going to be caught there. But for our awards ceremony and our tournament headquarters, right, we're actually going to be at the national, because, it says Race to Broodstock, right, on some of our graphics, the Race to Broodstock with a Corvette. Well, the Corvettes are made only in Bowling Green, Kentucky, in the entire world. That's it. That's where they're made, right there. That's their headquarters. So they have the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And we are going to be using that National Corvette Museum for our tournament headquarters, because it's got giant parking lots. It's got grass areas for our festival. It's got a theater inside, the Chevrolet Theater. It's got, obviously the Corvette Museum is pretty cool just to go check out. And it's also got a big banquet hall, a big, conference center. It's got everything we would need for a big event. So we will be at the National Corvette Museum, and across the street, across the interstate right there, they also sort of have the it's a motorsports park with a real Corvette, road course that you can drive, have the real Corvette racing experience. You can drive a real Corvette fast on that track if you want to rent that and do that. But we're actually going to utilize the go-karts, and we as the KAS are renting it out for a couple hours for all of us. And it's going to be a lot of fun, guys, to have just go-kart, racing each other. We're all competitive as anglers, so it's going to be fun getting in the go-karts and having just our opening ceremonies, and I believe closing ceremonies too, at the same place there with the go-karts. So it's going to
We should race some of those e-bikes.
Mm-hmm. Which will be, I don't know if that Shoalipalooza, they may not make it in time because we just finalized that deal, but there will be e-bike demos from these UBCO e-bikes at each event, aside from possibly Shoalipalooza. So you guys will get a chance to get on those and check them out and ride them. They're awesome. They're really cool. So
what's the top speed on one of those? That's my question.
I want to say, their website was like 30 something, or, I know they go really fast. But you guys will have to go check it out. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully we can get one for Shoalipalooza. So yeah, and Andrew Thomas, he knows. This is he's saying that he hopes the floor doesn't fall in again at the Corvette Museum. They went viral. Do you guys remember this? There was a sinkhole in their museum, and Corvettes just all of a sudden started falling into the sinkhole, and it went viral because they had the security footage of it. And I actually got to walk in that part of the building and see it. And they have a glass, a little part on the floor. You can look down into the cave and see the sinkhole. It's crazy. I'm they were down in there, multiple cars. So, but anyway, and then Southwest Indiana. What's that?
Wonder how much that costs them.
Who knows?
That's a good way
to insurance.
Yeah.
That's like one of those farmers commercials where it's we'll handle anything. And it's this random, it's what about when your Corvette museum falls into a sinkhole?
Yeah. Hopefully, I'm sure hopefully they had some good coverage on that. I'm sure they did. But Southwest Indiana Outdoors, he says, signed up for Ozarkana and hoping to fish broodstock also. That's great. Hey, if you do go to Ozarkana, you might have to find another one to fish before broodstock, because your Angler of the Year, in order to win that bike and the other packages, is your best 2 of the 5 regular season events combined with broodstock. So if you do really good,
We need more people to sign up for the Ozarkana one. That one is going to be so insane, guys. Like, we're going at
Oh,
like
it's
prime time. Like, if you
gonna
want
be
to go and fish for smallmouth and largemouth and big giant spots on topwater all day long, that's your event.
It's
All
gonna be
day
fun.
long.
It's gonna be fun. And James from Midwest Kayak Company called me yesterday. He said there was some, I don't know if it was a radio show around there, somebody, I don't know, a local regional Facebook page for the Ozarks posted the link to the event, and they've already had just in that same day they posted it, they've already had over 72 shares about that event. So I think we're going to get some signups for that one. They're coming big and coming strong. So the last thing I want to quickly mention before we get into the main event, Jeff can chime in on it too when we get him in here if he wants, is the Angler Garage Sale. Jake, you just made on our Discord channel, which we should post that link again on our Discord channel. The Angler Garage Sale. What's up, Jeff? We are going to have at each event, and that is what that is a way for you guys to make money and help you cover your expenses for your events, the travel and lodging, whatever, entry fees, by bringing items that we all have. Every one of us has it. You know what I mean? Some of us who do this, definitely more full-time like me, we have a lot more because we get, send a lot of stuff from our sponsors and they want us, we're obviously using the newest and latest stuff. So we got to get rid of some other stuff. Well, selling it at an actual garage sale sucks because if you set $1,000 lithium battery out there, it's hardly ever been used. It doesn't matter. The guy that walks up at the garage sale wants it for $50 or $25. But you guys, us, all the kayak anglers know what everything's worth. So bring your items to the Anglers Garage Sale. Post them on the Discord channel first before, if you want. That way, you're not wasting your time. But if it, if it's something big or heavy, like a motor or batteries or whatever, but bring your old reels and rods and things that you just don't use anymore. They're just sitting there taking up space, and your wife's upset that they're laying around everywhere and they're cluttering up your garage. I'm speaking from experience here a little bit, but so basically get rid of that stuff at the Angler Garage Sale, and it's super easy. We're going to give you at the opening ceremonies, there will be tags. Just write your name, Venmo, and phone number on it, or PayPal, whatever you prefer, and just sit around and wait for someone to text or call you, or just wait for the money to pop up into your Venmo or PayPal. And it's easy. And then we'll bring them. What's that, Jeff?
I said, Drew, we could just have this at your house, open your garage door, and just
let's do that.
Garage sales right there.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we could do that for sure. So there's Steve Baker's excited about it. It's great, man, because you just like your target market that would actually buy any of these things is right there, so
I feel like you will probably end up selling something, but then end up spending that money on something else.
That's what Andrew's saying over here in the comments. He's saying he doesn't think he's going to make money, but it's going to cost him money. But you're going to definitely get stuff for much cheaper there than you would, anywhere else or, brand new. So bring that stuff. And then while you're fishing on Saturday, we'll put it all out at the festival on Saturday. So if you don't get back till 4:30, and the festival ends at like 5:30. So it's not, you'd have it there for an hour. It would not likely sell. I'm saying bring it on Thursday at the opening ceremonies. We'll set it up there for sale. We'll start it there because somebody might want to get it before the event, and then we'll finish putting it out all day on Saturday at the festival. So it starts around this first one's going to start a little bit later. I want to be ready to go at 3. But most of the festivals for the rest of the series will be at 2:00 to like 5:30. And we'll have it out there the whole time so you guys can sell some stuff, make a little extra money, or buy something and save some money.
Hey, Drew, last time there was a garage sale at a fishing event, I bought a Drew Gregory bicycle. It was funny because all my kids were with me and they had a great time riding around camp on this bicycle, but it's a bike that you had, and we could tell the story another time, but you had hitched a kayak trailer to a bicycle.
Yeah.
To get down to your takeout or put in or whatever.
Was that the lacrosse?
It was lacrosse, yeah.
I know that. I know about that. I know exactly where you went too, because we were looking at that spot.
Yeah. One of these days,
I have that bike. It's a historic piece of kayak history.
Yeah, that was at Raccoon Creek. Raccoon Creek Outfitters for that garage sale for sure. Well, Dustin's chiming in, making sure we don't forget that, and we never will forget all the good times at Raccoon Creek, man. What a fun time.
The fact that didn't get stolen is a testament to like how far out in the middle of nowhere you were.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although I think,
Well, that's the
Really
spot
do.
where all those people fish though for the white bass too, right? Like in off that like little culvert.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I think so. And one of these days, man, I've got all the footage from that, all those seasons that I just haven't had time to like do anything with. I'm not as efficient as Jeff Little over here, man. And it's, no excuses, but his kids are growing up a little bit more. So and I guess they still take a ton of time though. So what am I talking about? My kids are going to get older and still take my time, but doing all this other stuff, it's just been hard. But I want to get those videos out there. I want to post a video from all the 2022 season because I have it all on GoPro, which kind of is a good segue here. Have it all on GoPro, and I've got, and I don't even mind showing it. I don't think anyone cares. I mean, I've got the logs, the videos of the logs, and the area that they protested about, and I have the videos of me going around the route, in that one because it's a little skinny spot that no one noticed. You could slide right around it because I had a little, I had a small. Well, the shoalie at that time, but it was it's thin enough and it was just short enough to zip right around. So you guys could, the public could see, and one day it'll come to light, how and why, I guess, I was able to win the appeal to that protest, which I was listening to Bass After Dark the other day with Ken Duke and the Tournament Justice episode. And it's pretty cool. I didn't realize that there's hardly been any appeals that have ever been overturned for Bassmaster, because once you've been disqualified, like, it was for a reason, you know what I mean? And it's out of pride that the people appeal usually, but you don't win typically because how can you prove or disprove? But thank God to the GoPro, which is the greatest segue, because I had that GoPro on the whole time and showed how I was able to get around or under, or over or whatever, every obstacle and stay in my kayak. So yeah, we'll talk to Jeff here. Go ahead, Billy.
Gentlemen, this is the main event.
GoPro highlight.
All right. Main event, boys and girls.
Main event GoPro. Like I said in the beginning, I have my prop right here. But man, I'm just excited to hear some good tips. I'll tell you, I don't even try to kid around about it. I have my notebook, and even though I'm on these live streams, I feel like I'm the student. I'm taking notes every week. So I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about this.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know where we want to start this, but there's several things we want to get into. So I'll just say them real quick, and then you guys figure out where we want to start. We got to explain and share our screen. Maybe we can do this after Jeff's gone, because I know he might have to get off. Where on the website anglers will go to submit footage. That's pretty easy, right? Just where are they going to go? How are you going to do it? Using, an app to quickly trim it, get it to that minute that you want us to use. We don't need your whole SD card. You don't want us to have your whole SD card. We don't want to see you using the bathroom when you forgot to turn it off. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to see it. You don't want us to have it. Trust me. You don't. There's no telling what blackmail we could have there. But so that's one thing. We can do that later. But the main thing, I think, is we just want to give you guys the best tips on how to film with it. If you're just going to use one, what to do, maybe Jeff, we can talk about, just super quick on some lighting, or we can talk about what happens if you don't have a GoPro, which I think is critical. A lot of people won't, but we still want a video clip of them and their phones can capture it. And we can put it on that big screen at the theater. So I guess we'll start off with GoPro because they are the main event. So Jeff, if you just had one GoPro to use, just one on your kayak, what position, how would you set it up?
So it's right here. It's the Yak Attack. I forget which
boomstick, right?
Panfish Pro, but it's the long. It's the middle one.
It's the Panfish Pro. Yeah.
And I use the 3BR Outdoors case here, and I got the Aqua battery that keeps it going. But because of the lock and load base, I can move this around constantly for changing the camera angle. I actually end up grabbing this head because of because of this
Lego
component. Where am I going with this? Sorry, I'm doing this on my phone instead of my laptop. It was acting goofy, but I reach up and grab this and tilt it and change the angle quite a bit. So I don't have this locked down. I leave it a little bit loose. It's tight enough that the wave action isn't going to move it, but I can grab it and point it at different things if need be.
Right.
but yeah, constantly changing, moving it from my left side if I'm fishing on the left side of my boat to switching to the right side. If I go to a different bank, I just unlock this and then put it on the other side. That's, it, and I film a lot of footage with this one in particular.
Do you
But
do you
you
get a
limit
lot
it
of hours out of the battery like that? Like how long do you get with the little Nakwa? All day?
days,
Oh, sorry. Pull it off.
days and days. I carry a second just in case, but like, it's usually when I plug it in after 2 days of using it, like the little charger, has 4.
Yeah.
I usually have 3 and the fourth one's starting to blink. Like
What size?
3/4.
Now, are those little Nakwas, are they lithium or are they like an AGM battery?
I think they're lithium. They're fully sealed.
Mhm.
You can
Yeah.
dunk them. So
Oh,
when I
yeah,
got,
I like that. I think that
I mean, it's the Yak Attack version, but it's the same thing. But to have the little Velcro thing, this is something that Jameson Redding kind of showed me how to do. But you stick it on there, and the Velcro just
Yeah.
tucks it right there on the neck of it. So
smart.
Mhm.
yeah, the setup works. But you had said, if you only had one, and this would be it. I mean, this is a Hero 9. I'm happy with the the audio commands of starting and stopping. My style of filming isn't just turn it on and just record everything. I don't do that because
Mhm.
the way that I edit. So that's the key thing. I think I see so many people that just turn it on and record everything, and they dread the huge timeline that they have to parse and do that. I don't do that, and I don't know why. I never did. And I will tell you, sometimes I do turn it on because I know, hey, something's happened and it's been happening, and this I'm on them, and I want it all to capture. But I do the start and the stop frequently, and it helps my editing, which is just at a frenetic pace. Like
Right.
I think I'm halfway through an episode on Presque Isle Bay for day 1. I got a day 2 that I got to edit, and some boondock stuff I got to edit in. I don't know, like the boondocking and the camping out in the hammock and whatnot. I have a lot of that to edit, and I don't have much time in between. I got home 2 nights ago, and I'm leaving pretty quick to go down there to Thomaston, and I start on so I start on a month-long trip. I go all the way to California visiting dealers, but I edit along the way. I edit in hotel rooms. I got to figure out a power source so I can edit in my truck when I'm camping remotely.
Oh man, we got you, dude.
You
We got to hook you up. X2
power bank.
The power box. Yeah,
Yeah.
that new power station they have is great. Couple
So-
110 outlets on it.
Yeah. So basically, this would be my one, but I don't like just having one. With this one, I get a lot of different camera angles. The whole world is just crazy about drone footage, and I never got
agree.
I never got into it. But this thing,
Yeah, that's cool.
this dome it's got a Hero 9 in there, is so much good, good videography comes out of this thing. I'm just going to pop this out. I mean, it's just a regular, it's a 9, and it's made for a 9. And if you don't have a 9, you can find an 11 one that fits an 11. And
I think the 11 might fit in that one because the 9, 10, and 11 are all the same like casing. So
Yeah,
well,
it should fit.
Domes are cheap, and they're
yeah.
a heck of a lot cheaper than crashing
And they're awesome.
drones. Like crashing
Right,
drones is
absolutely.
horrible.
Yeah, and let's talk about this in the terms of a tournament. No one's obviously like that's like extra. No one's really going to use a dome in the middle of a tournament. But for your filming stuff, that is like one of some of the coolest shots. You never know if someone's really crazy and they're like, don't.
I mean,
care
I
about
would
losing.
probably consider it if it was like my 5th fish or something. But
Yeah, if it was like a real big one.
yeah.
Well, I use it to, do what I'll call fishing lure porn. right?
Yeah.
Do slow-mo of the crankbait coming through and digging and smacking into that, into the log, or
Right.
the jig kind of slowly hopping along or just sitting there or whatever. Obviously I do a lot of the release shots, but a lot of times if I'm teaching a concept and of a specific pattern, your location and your presentation, and I want to not just say, hey, there was a log there at a 45-degree angle to that current seam and rolling that spinner bait over it. As soon as you drop it on the backside, just here, let's take a look. Where was that fish caught? Let's go under and say, this is where he was sitting. And it's a great aid in teaching. People get to see what was actually there underwater.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm just so hungry for that perspective all the time. I know when I started, the videography, I forget, it was a little handheld camera, just a point and shoot, but it had video capabilities and did a lot of, I used that quite a bit when I was doing DVDs, which sort of dates me in terms of my videography experience. It's just able to teach that much more. And I did a lot of going face down with the scuba mask and the snorkel, and just, you learn so much by getting that perspective.
Right. You'll have that stuff with you. Yeah, you'll have all this stuff with you because you'll be filming some of the anglers, which is cool. You're going to be able to go wherever they can go. You'll have those tools. So let's talk about that. And of course, you'll show off some of that footage maybe at the seminar we do. But let's talk about that real quick, because that's a component when you're following, or any of the Kayak Adventure Series crew, whether it's whoever, Billy, Jake, Tyler, Bean, me, whatever, whoever's out there, Jeff Little, filming others. Scott Butcher will be out there flying drone and doing stuff on, I want to say on Friday. When they're following you guys, this is how it's going to work. Okay. So we're going to find some anglers on Friday who are, I would say, first of all, okay with us filming them. They're not, it won't make them nervous. They're more excited to have that content. I mean, how rare of an opportunity is this it's like when you filming me at the Susquehanna Bassmaster event, Jeff, I was like, yes, this is awesome, dude. I get someone to film me, and I get all this great content and for my sponsors, and just to have my memories of these fish catches from a different angle than, my GoPros. So as long as you guys are cool with that, then we find, 2 or 3, 4 people that we're going to focus on that Friday. And what will happen is we've got GoPros sending us some GoPros. And what we'll do is, if you don't already have a GoPro or some action camera, some good quality action camera, we will literally just set one up on your kayak, unobtrusive, where it's not in your way. And we'll put hardwire it to a battery pack, like a power bank. Thanks to Batteries Plus for sending those to us. Batteries Plus is sending us like 10 of them. We're going to have plenty that are basically like the Naqua. We plug it in, hardwire it to your, camera, and it'll run. And the person from Kayak Adventure Series will be far, far away from you. Not like crazy far, but far enough where they're definitely not even worried. You're not going to be worried one bit about them spooking your fish. They'll be behind you, wherever you tell them to be. We'll stay far away. We don't need to be close. We're just kind of supporting that GoPro. And then if we want to use our phone or fly a drone or whatever while we're just waiting for a bite to happen, then we'll do that and get some cool shots of you guys. But then anytime you catch a fish, Jeff Little will say, hey, that's a really nice one, man. Congrats, whatever. Good job. Do you mind if I get in close and use my dome as you release it? Do what you normally would do. Don't waste any time. And I'm just going to get it. And he'll coach you through the release. Hold it right there. Perfect. Let's let it go. And then back out of there. Okay. Only on a good fish that matters. Doesn't matter for some 12-inch fish. If you get a nice 18, 19, 20-inch fish. Micro bag. Yeah, it's true. He'll get a 5. So again, like I said, doesn't matter on a 12-inch fish. There you go. A 5-inch fish, or it's 18, 19, or 20. Maybe Jeff comes over and says, let me get a cool shot of that if you're okay with it. And that could end up with a cool still photo for you, a half and half underwater, cool shot. And that could end up on the big screen on the theater and in our edit afterwards. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it'll work. I mean, you guys just tell us when we're too close. It's just communicate. And
so can I chime in on that?
Chime in.
I'm going to get close, and I'm going to be in my inflatable. Yeah. And if
if you're behind them,
you're not going to spook fish. But
no,
I think it takes an angler to film an angler in a way that you're not getting in the way. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that there's some angler intuition in that. And
Absolutely.
I'm going to get close.
But behind them, yeah, close but behind them, not like we're in front of them where they're going. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Usually-
I should have said that.
It's usually quartered, you
Yeah.
know, back at a 45-degree angle.
Right.
If someone's power fishing and moving forward, you know, you're here, I'm either there or I'm there. And that over the shoulder, you know, you're able to see when things blow up and start happening.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
man.
on a
That's
river, like you're not gonna spook those fish if Jeff's right behind you,
Yeah.
because like, you know, it's
Right.
like
no, not at
even
all.
if you're fishing like a hole, like, you know, like they may be spooked for like a second if you somehow spook them, but they're gonna go right back to their spot. So
Yeah, I mean, they're spooked by you first, you know, as you
Right,
go over
exactly.
anyway. So if Jeff's behind it. Yeah, and I should have said behind, not. I mean, some of our guys could be far away, just wherever you want them. If he's too close, you just communicate. It's their job to try to cover the event. But if they ever get too close or in an area that you don't want him to be, if he's quartering at a 45 or he's out in the middle and you're about to come back and fish there, then maybe tell him to get right behind you or hug the bank or wherever you need them. But basically, that's just part one of how we're going to capture the footage. The second part is what Jeff's already talked about, that one GoPro. If you're going to pick one GoPro angle, pick the one from behind. And
absolutely.
And then I'll explain what I do. If you want to get crazy and have a second or third, I'll explain how I do it. And it's super easy. The one from behind, I do just run it constantly because I have a 256 gigabyte card and a power bank, and it just stays on running the whole time. I don't loop. I don't do any of that. You could certainly use the loop mode, but I don't even worry about looping because whenever I have something good happen, I just turn it off. And I know all I got to do is scrub through the very end of that clip and it's there. And all the rest of them, doesn't take that long. You still have them, and you every once in a while you scrub through one of that footage and you're like, you know what? That was a cool scene of me just motoring my way up for 5 minutes through this tight area. And then you end up using that as a time lapse. So it's kind of nice that you have it because every once in a while you use some of it. But reality is it doesn't take long because I just got to go to the very end of all the clips. And if it sees me, you know, with a fish holding it up and all that, then boom, that's what I need. And the other ones I can just delete. So that's how I do it. The one from behind. But if you are going to use another one, there's two ways to do it. And I'll pull up this clip here. Any of them will work just so we can see. There's a chesty shot, see? And there's a front shot, and there's the rear shot. So that right there is your typical rear shot that Jeff's talking about. You can put it on either side. I happen to have it on this side of this on this clip. And if you can get it off to the side a little bit more, that's good. But be weary of any trees or limbs. That don't get it too high. If you are a river angler or want to hold tight to the bank on a lake, you know, you could always put a camera just on the front facing you if you want to. But this is definitely the best angle because you can always turn around and hold your fish up to it. And here's the front angle, which this camera right here, I only turn on normally after I catch a fish. And I just hold my fish across the screen real quick. And that's it. 5 seconds. Just hold the fish across the screen, fist pump, release it, whatever. That's all that clip's used for. Unless I happen to turn it on in the middle of the fight, which I did on this one. And I actually have the landing of the fish on camera. So that's what the front angle is for. And so this is a chesty here. And again, this one here is just, you can turn it on in the middle of a fight because you just tap the button. I mean, you could use the voice too, like Jeff's saying, but when you got multiple, it's hard to do that because they might all hear you or whatever. You have to set one to voice and the other's off. You could do that, but the one in the front is close enough to reach for me that you see right in the front there. And then the one on my chest is close enough. And the one in the front, like I said, really, it's not even on until after I've caught the fish and I'm holding it up with that hero shot, smiling real big for a photo. And that's about it. So it's not that complex. You still just run one camera the whole time behind you, just one. So if you got 3 GoPros, you can put a chesty on, you can put one in the front, just run the one in the behind. And then only when action happens, then turn the chesty on or turn the front one on for a cool hero shot and a release shot. And we can keep talking. We can mute that and keep talking here while it plays, just so you guys can see. So I'm in a high percentage area. So like Jeff said earlier, he might turn his camera on because I was like, you know what, this is high percentage. I think I'm going to get bit. So that's why I had that chesty running right then. It's not normally what I just have running, but it just gives you different angles to use if you want to. But again, that's over production for Kayak Adventure Series. But if you want to do it, certainly, you can. It's not even hard. Like I said, you're not running the other two constantly at all. You're just turning them on when you need to. So anyway, any thoughts on running a couple? If you're going to run a couple, is that too crazy? Are you guys in the comments? Anybody going to run maybe 2 just to have a couple angles of your adventure?
I like it, Drew. And then I would also highlight there's some like the Creek Crawler. There are channels out there where they've dedicated just to that chest mount. So, you know, you can
do that.
Pick one and pull it off, but the 3 cameras, that's a great setup.
That's a good point, actually. The chest cam could be another option if you're just going to run 1 camera and that's it. Then you could have that. And as soon as you get a bite, you could tap it on if you don't want to run it all day, or you could, you know, just change batteries real quick.
You can run it too. Like, so when I bank fish, like I just went on a bank fishing trip yesterday. I just use like a little like power bank that's like the size of your phone, and you can just slide it into your pocket or like in the back and run it constantly too, you know, just like that. But it's really easy just to, you know, flip it on when, you know, you get to a spot you want to fish. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. I think multiple GoPros is always smart, because if your one dies, you got at least you got something, you know. It's like,
you get something else.
I know GoPros are not cheap, so like you can't expect everybody to have 2, but like, you know, that's why like I always keep my old one. Like I don't like selling them. Like I've got a 9 that I use on the front, even though I've got an 11, right? Because like you can still, you know, having that backup one, it's important. Because I've lost them in the water. So
absolutely. What about if you don't have, let's talk about what if you don't have any action camera? So a GoPro or whatever else there is, the, is it Osmo or what do they have? There's other ones out there. You don't have to.
DJI has one.
DJI, now. Yeah. DJI's got one. Tacticam. I mean, it's not recommended for the best quality, guys. Let's just be honest. It looks really grainy. It doesn't shoot in 4K or anything. So, but you know, anything you have, we'll take and we'll use for sure. But if you don't have a GoPro at all and you just have your phone, you see where my GoPro is in this clip right here, this front one. What you need to do is actually talk to John Thomas about this from Yak Gadget. He will be at the opening ceremonies with Yak Gadget stuff, some of his stuff, and set up there the small booth. You know, he's coming to the closing festival as well, but he wanted to be at opening because you guys might need some stuff. You know, anglers might need a few things, a catchboard holder or whatever, like a, you know, accessories he sells before the event. So, and he's got some stuff. They've got the mounts that you can use for your phone. You know what I mean? The ones that you know, is it Rogue and other people or whatever? I don't know. They're basically like those RAM mounts he used to have, you know, that squeeze together. He's makes some stuff like that too, but you can always on the Shoaly here that there's actually an iPhone holder on the Shoaly, which turns around. You can just face it right at you in that holder and live stream or take a video. But at very minimum, guys, all you need to do, Eric Nelson, I know, crotch shot. It is what it is. Hopefully you're catching a big bass and holding it up over your crotch and no one ever sees that. But that's all we need you guys to do is literally at the very bare minimum, take your Tourney X photos, right? Get them on the board. And I'll just keep playing this. Get your photos done, and while you're releasing the fish, have something set up on your kayak where you can have your phone turned around and turn it like this direction, landscape, not vertical. You know, don't make it vertical, make it landscape like this, so it'll appear nice on a big screen theater. It'll still work if you have it, you know, vertical, but try to get it like this if you can. You know, landscape, and then I need you guys to just hold up the fish. A big fist pump, be excited about it. You know, say the length, say, hold it up against the screen and pan it across, be like, you know, 21 inches, let's go. Like I'm pumped up, Shoaly Palooza, new personal best, whatever you want to say, and then release the fish on video. And that is good enough. That's all we need for these theater big screens. Just a short, cool clip of you with that fish, getting your real emotion in real time, you know, of what, you know, was happening. And you know, so anyway,
and it doesn't always have to be.
You guys keep talking. I'm gonna take this call from my wife. She's called 3 times. So let me take this.
I think one thing, like, you know, people think about like GoPros and stuff. Like they don't only capture the wins; they capture the fails too. And I'm not like asking people to embarrass themselves, but if you can't have like, you know, some humility and like crashing into a log and like, you know, dropping a pole in the water and getting the pole back, because that's happened to me, and like it sucks in the moment, but like watching it back, it's like, you know, I'm kind of glad that I had my GoPro running to kind of capture that moment. So
yeah, and no one, I'm gonna say no one, but a lot of people, they don't want like your highlight reel. I know we're doing that for the big screen, but Jeff does a real good job of doing this. It's kind of like the storytelling aspect of it, you know, the hero's journey. You set out to win this tournament or to catch fish, and then something happened along the way that got in your way. There was some challenge. There was some, like you said, you flip your kayak, you lose your paddle. I was filming in a tournament one day, and I lost my paddle, and I had to go on the whole tournament. The video became an adventure of me looking for my paddle, and it was ridiculous. But I ended up getting, some decent views on it, and people seemed to enjoy the story, and, friends.
Just wait till you see Drew's clip from the Illinois River in the championship. He catches that big smallmouth. He hasn't posted it yet, so this is a spoiler, but his paddle literally just, it's gone. On video, you can see him drop his paddle, and then he's looking around later in the clip like, where's my paddle? And he had to literally get out and swim across the river to get it. So I really hope that he eventually posts that clip, but I think that's a great example of it doesn't always capture the wins. Sometimes there's benefit in capturing your failures or your blunders, as I like to call them. So
I for sure put my mistakes on film. If you watch my episodes, showing what doesn't work and what lessons you learned from it. And I don't know. I think people appreciate the humility of this isn't just me being awesome at fishing all the time. I'm not. And man, the two that I'm editing right now, for sure is that. It was Presque Isle Bay really kicked my butt over the weekend.
People love fails, man. One of my most viewed clips is me falling out of my kayak during the Possum Kingdom event last year. Now, to be fair, I didn't fall out. I bailed when I felt it kind of, that secondary stability kind of I was like, all right, I'm just going to bail. But
Jake, that's your pride kicking in there. I believe you, because I
missed it. What'd I miss?
I was just talking about me falling out of the kayak and filming it.
Well,
remember when I fell out at PK when I tried to net that giant bass that got off, and I tried to lunge for it?
Yes.
I felt it kind of tipping, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna swing my legs out, because I knew it was 3 feet of water. But I caught it on video, and
good action.
Yeah, people loved it. They loved to make fun of me, but hey, I didn't flip, and that's the important part,
Yeah, you jump out, you bail. Well, my wife, it's funny. Well, it's not funny really, but you ever have these new cars have these key fobs, and when the battery dies, they need to detect that it's there, and you can't even move. So she's stuck. The battery's dead on the key fob.
No, you can pop it open.
You can pop it open.
You hold the key fob against the push button start.
Yeah.
So they don't die completely. They have just enough juice.
Yeah.
If you hold the key fob against the button,
that's true.
It'll allow you to start it one more time.
I forgot to allow you to, I forgot to tell her that, because I did Google that one time and it should work. But we've just replaced the battery, which is what is weird. We just replaced it because it's getting dead. So anyway, I'll call her and tell her that where you guys keep going. Maybe we can get it to start. If not, I'll get off here in 10 or 15 minutes. And
can we get back to the fail? And I want to just talk about one of the fails I had on Presque Isle Bay over the weekend.
Okay, go ahead.
The wind was bad, and I went out the channel. I don't know if any of the viewers have been there. It's a commitment. Once you go out there, it's there's I think it's Thompson Bay. If you head out and hook a left.
Is this on Lake? That's on Lake Erie, right?
Yeah, Presque Isle Bay on Lake Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I went out there, and it was, I don't want to say it was calm, but it was manageable. When I came back, I made it 2/3 of the way back up the channel, and I'm disappearing in between waves. I'm just, and I'm in the inflatable. I didn't pack up a hard boat this time, and I'm going full submarine mode, in between these waves. And at some point I'm just I got to give up. This isn't going to work. And how do I get back? In teaching hey, what is my plan B? This is some adversity. And I got to show, okay, I went back up into Thompson. There's a path that you can cart kayaks, back to some of the roads that are on that state park. And luckily I had the landing gear with me, and I was able to, I think I probably ended up doing half a mile of carting to get back to water, so I could get, I could get back to where I parked my vehicle. But it was showing the adversity and the fails, and things aren't always perfect. And I think there's a lesson in that, because maybe someone will be in that situation where they can't get back from.
literally in like a very similar situation the last 2 tournaments because it's been a very windy spring and like
Yep.
it's one of those things where you're like, I didn't end up going back to the same spot during the actual tournament because I was like, I'm just not going to risk it. You know, it's like you got to know your limits in a kayak, and you know, it's not like you probably maybe could have made it, you know, but like, is it really worth flipping and, you know, submarine style waves? Probably not.
Right.
No.
So, I just don't see how you get your kayak back in that scenario. You know, it's like, sure, you flip and you might not die because you have your PFD on, but like, how do you get back to your kayak when you flip in those big things? So like, I think that's why like those paddling classes are so important too, because, you know, there's more to kayak fishing than just fishing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they are for sure. And Aaron says the Yak Gadget Cell Grip XD. See, I knew he had a product that holds your cell phone. So get one of those at very minimum and spin it around. But what you guys are talking about is I'm jumping in here. My wife got it to start again. So that was good. And not stranded there. But the ancillary stuff, all the stuff around the event, like off the water, if you want to get yourself loading, and some of the festival and some of the theater at the awards, and you know, the seminars, you know, whatever you want to like kind of just put in there, the fun back with the guys back at the Airbnb or your campground or hotel, whatever. For the GoPro Epic Edit, the one that we've got listed on the site as the prize, someone in Michigan will win a GoPro package for the GoPro Epic Edit for the edit they put together. I think we set it to like 1 to 3 minutes. And so we want a little bit of everything. We would love to see more than just the fish catches, a little bit of everything. That'll kind of get you some bonus points if it's not just fish catches.
Like plays of the game, even. Like I could see like even like a good cast, you know, like skip under a log, or like, oh, watch me like portage over this without getting out of my kayak. Like I think that kind of stuff is like really cool too. Like
yeah, exactly. So, and up there, perfect, Billy, right on time there. You click on submit footage. Show what that was a little bit. If you want to go back and show them on the site where that was. There's a drop down. It says there's 2 of them. There's one that says media, and then that's the GoPro Epic Edit submission. And there is another.
There's another form that should be under
for anglers.
It's just the very last drop down.
Yeah, it says so we might change the title of that because this is actually just submitting any footage. You know what I mean? It's not. So
oh yeah.
This is but that's actually for the Epic Edit. But we'll have one there. If we don't change the name for that, we'll actually have one there that's for, you know, submitting any just clips. Because we just want the 20, 30 a minute, and it will send pretty quick over cell signal if you trim it to that. All you got to do is go to your GoPro. I will get the quick app from GoPro. It's easy to trim it real quick. Whatever else you want to use to trim it, it's fine. Just the GoPro quick app is critical because it'll get your footage from the GoPro to your phone, and you can see it. And then trim it right up, and then only send to your phone what you need to then just submit to us. It's so easy. It's not hard, guys, especially if you're doing the looping mode or Jeff Little's mode, you know, you don't have a ton of files to look through, whatever. It's really not that hard.
And it also will, I don't know how well we can see that. It'll actually do auto highlights. You see that? Mm-hmm. So like when you import the footage, like it'll actually go in and pull up like automatic highlights from everything you've done, and like you can see that's just like some dumb music with it, but it does like an automatic highlight based on like the clip. So like, you know, if you did a big long record, like you can do the auto highlight thing, and sometimes it'll pull out stills for you and like action shots and stuff like that.
So it will, and it's not hard. I mean, it's just, you know, I actually did one the other day. This is funny. This clip is this is a clip of me actually on the Susquehanna, and I wanted to trim it. And this is actually when I released a fish. Jeff, I actually think it was pre-fishing, and I released it with the method that I'm kind of known for some these days, or just tuna, kind of like a mackerel tuna release or whatever. I don't know. You just flip them and throw them down straight first, so they get a nice splash. Hopefully you get a 10 out of 10.
I've never successfully pulled it off.
They just slip out her hands and fumble.
No, I usually get finned in the hand when I try to catch it.
Yeah, it's tricky, but it's kind of fun to flip them up and then grab them and then dive. They just dive right in and go right away. But obviously do it in deep enough water. Don't do it in 6 inches. But so that was cool. I just pulled it up and just quickly got it out, trimmed it, and save to camera, and that was it. And then all you do is just go on the website with your phone, go to the form that Billy just showed us, and submit, and we'll have it. Sooner you get it to us, the better. So if you're driving back, you got a partner or shuttle partner, you're driving back in the truck, you could do that. And all we need to remember, all we need for the theater is, and again, it really applies to anybody can send us anything at any point, anytime, but all we need for that theater is realistically just the top 10, hopefully a clip. The people, you won't know if you're in the top 10, but if you obviously get a good fish clip, send it. But all we need is, we don't need everything, just, all 2 or 3 angles you got of that fish, or even the whole 4 minutes of all the couple casts before, and you hooking it and finding it and measuring it. That'll take 4-5 minutes between the fight and the measuring it and releasing it, potentially from, depending on how long you fight it. But we don't need all that. Just give us like the best shot of that fish, and you landing the fish or hooking up, and the fight's short. Yeah, sure. Send us the whole 30 seconds. You know what I mean? Of you fighting it, getting it in, and fist pumping.
I mean,
that's it. That's all we need.
Even if you can't get to that point, like let's say you're like under the gun, you went 10 miles up river, run behind, you can bring the SD card in and give it to one of us, and we can pull it off. And
yeah, exactly.
Just ourselves, like as long as you have the actual footage and SD card. So
yeah, we can do that.
I don't want people to stress out thinking they have to like edit on the fly. Like if you can do it, great. If not, come see us.
Yeah,
we can make it happen.
That's right. And that really pertains to, hopefully Friday you'll have time just to like quickly, before you go to bed, just send us one good one. But on Saturday, what Jake's saying is right. If you don't have time, just bring us your SD card. Again, you get back at the festival at say 4:00. Well, the thing doesn't start till 6. You know what I mean? Obviously, we'd like to have it kind of wrapped up by 5:30. That's an hour and a half. You just bring it over. We'll have a designated spot where Jake will be, or Billy or whoever will be sitting there, and plug that in and grab that. Tell us where it is. Help us find that short clip. We'll grab it, trim it, and just send that one to your computer, and that's all we need. So I think it'll be fun, guys. We'll have a good time with it. And I can't. Any other questions that you guys can think of, or anybody?
Well, Steve asked a question about cost. And I was going to touch on this a little bit because GoPro kind of refreshed everything with the 7, I believe. So any GoPro from 7 to 12 will use the app and kind of have that
compatibility.
Yeah. So, but the difference in the 7 is the 7 can be found used from $100 to $120, either new or gently used. And it has an internal battery, which isn't my favorite, but if you're like new to this and you want to just have something running static behind you, the 7 is a really good option. The only problem you will run into with those style of GoPros is overheating, because with the internal battery, you don't have the option to pop the battery out, which is a big deal. If you've ever fished over 75 degrees, you'll know exactly what I mean. So I think you could probably get a pretty good recording setup for like sub $200. And that's including like your external battery, which a lot of people probably already have. Any 10 amp hour lithium will work for a GoPro battery. And then, your boomstick or your panfish, whatever you go with will usually be like $50 to $60 to $70. And then, like I said, you can get one of those older GoPros fairly cheap. You could probably even find 9s now for that price, which the 9 essentially looks like this. I mean, it's like the same thing. So
the 9 is the new model number, or the model, whatever. The hardware is all new. So the 8 is kind of standalone. 9,
10, 11, 12.
Yeah, 9 and up. Yeah, and then with the 12, I think they fixed some of the overheating issues. But keep in mind too that it's on the GoPro website, they say like 1.3 mile per hour breeze for the cooling to work. So stop testing your overheating like in your house. It's going to overheat.
Yeah.
You just turn it on and sit there.
It looked like Jeff had a heat sink on his. Was that correct?
That
case?
The case that help with overheating, Jeff, or no? There is a little cover.
There's a new one coming out.
Yeah, there's a little hood for them now that they sell. This company sells a little hood for them.
Yeah, so is that metal?
Yeah.
So that works as like a heat sink, essentially. Like, does that ever overheat?
I haven't had it do it.
Yeah, so that's why it probably never overheats, because the metal frame is actually a boom, because like it pulls the heat off the unit.
Mm-hmm.
So
Alan Ballard put his YouTube down there. Go check him out, Ballard Fishing. So thanks, Alan.
The case is 3BR Outdoors.
And if you have a 11 mini, I'll have one at the yard sale, a 3BR case. I bought the wrong one, lost the receipt.
So that's interesting you mentioned the mini. Look at that. So that's the GoPro
Mhm.
11 mini. You see that? That's like actually like a mini heat sink. You would think.
Yeah.
So like these are great too if you want something that's a little bit more compact, and I think they're a little cheaper too. And they're super small. Like, I mean, if you put it on your chest or like you have it in front of you, it's such a low impact style GoPro. And it has the same quality as like the full size ones with like the screen, but without having the LCD screen on the back and having that like little heat sink type thing, these don't overheat as much, at least in my experience. So.
Cool. Well, I think those are good tips. I don't know if anybody else has any other any things they want to mention. I don't know. I mean, Todd's talking about using StreamYard to go live, which, you know, if you guys want to go live, that's cool. But that's a little bit complicated because you got to use the phone to then take your Turny X pictures and reset it up. And that's, you know, some of you guys might be in some wild places that have not strong enough cell signal. So I don't know. Todd, that sounds cool, man. I'd love to get there one day. So that'd be awesome. Maybe some of our anglers following you, if with your permission, we'll go live on our phones and get some cool shots of you live, just so we can have some action during the day to share on our Facebook or Instagram, you know, page. So that'd be cool. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it. I mean, you know, get some extra batteries, get the battery pack. You know,
Any 10 amp hour, even an 8 amp hour
Yeah.
lithium will work if you got one sitting around.
yeah, they'll work. That
Or
one works
that.
great. The one from Yak Attack, that one works great too. I mean, it's hardwired right in. It's gonna last all day.
Yeah, it'll
You
run
don't
all
have
day.
to worry about it. So, Jeff, did you want to just touch on before you leave? It's the Boondocks Big Bass Bling. You guys are the Big Bass sponsor over there at Boondocks. We appreciate it, man. And you got some cool packages to give away to some of the winners.
Drew, I forget what I committed to. Like
Well,
in terms of what product.
yeah, it was a
I think
choice
you
of
said a
3.
choice of things. and
Yeah, it
I'm
was like a
gonna
choice of
bring
3
few
things.
different things, and basically you'll be able to, you know, if you don't want, you know, landing gear because you already got it, but you see the rigging stand and think, hey, I could use that, or I forget what all we
Yeah.
said there.
But
You
it'll be
remember?
cool.
I don't remember.
It was like 3 things that were pretty around the same price. And we'll have other prizes that go along with that. You know, it's an over $500 package. I think we're going to have some Yak Attack gift cards that go with it, maybe like a 250 Yak Attack gift card. I think you were saying it could be somewhere around $300 or $400 for what you guys would offer them in that value. So it's probably well over 500 for the whole package. But yeah, you guys are the presenting sponsor for the Big Bass Bling Award, and we call it Big Bass Bling because it's not just a normal trophy. This is a little different. So can't wait to put that around someone's neck for the first event in Shoalipalooza. And yeah, appreciate all the support out there, you guys. You know, Shoalipalooza's got 12 or 13 states represented, up to 50 something unique individuals, 43 or so in the individual division. We are 8 days out, probably 8 or 9 days, something like that. So, you know, registration is all the way up to that Thursday. A lot of people will register, you know, probably I would say next week? Today's already Wednesday. So next week, I think this weekend will be the biggest registration weekend and next week for the event, because most people already know they're in it. But, you know, like kayak anglers, we always procrastinate. And just in case something comes up, we wait to, you know, enter to the last moment. But the first 100 anglers will get that $100 sponsor gift bag. So that's pretty exciting. So be the first 100. We might have to move that down to 50 to give us a little bit more incentive to get some signups, like, you know, going like a little quicker and see if that. But I mean, you guys did a good job, because think about it. We have a lot signed up, and there's still, you know, 8 days away, and we got a lot of anglers for, you know, we should definitely hit over 100, you would think. So hopefully we can get up to 150 and somebody will walk away with $7,000 if we can hit that 150 mark. So that's just in the individual division. So I'm excited. And lots of other prizes given away too. I mean, not just the cash and GoPro and, you know, all kinds of other fun stuff. So yeah, it's crazy seeing it all come together. Thanks to everybody out there who has been pushing so hard at the last minute to get this going, because I tell you what, we've known this was happening for a long time, and we've planned stuff with all the sponsors and partners who are making things. And somehow it always ends up just kind of being, it all gets done at the last minute, just in time. Thanks to everyone, you know, helping us out and scrambling and getting it done with all the props and things that need to be there. It's going to be wild, guys. So I'm excited.
I want to see a world record shoal bass caught at
Dude,
Shoaly
that'd
Palooza.
be
They've been
awesome.
talking about how that is the most likely black bass record to fall in the next like couple of years. So
Yeah,
What is it? Do we know what the number is?
812.
812?
812.
8.5 is a new Georgia record that was just broke last year. Was it last year or the year before? 8.3 used to be the Georgia record. Now it's 8.5, and Florida actually technically has the world record because below Apalachicola Dam is technically Florida, and you can't even catch shoal bass there anymore. They're gone. You know what I mean? They dredged all the limestone shoals are gone. They have
Of course they did.
yeah, it's all gone. There's a few in the Chipola River in Florida, but as far as Florida goes in shoal bass, they're basically all gone. So Georgia rightfully should get that record back, and it'd be fitting to have it happen at Shoaly Palooza for sure. But I
feel like with the amount of like 8.5s that are being caught, someone is going to get a 9 in the next like year. So
you would think it would happen one of these days, man. It's bound to. But there are a lot of world records actually. If you technically go out there, the IGFA. A lot of world records are becoming sort of reopened now that they've reclassified a lot of these bass, like the Florida bass. The Florida strain largemouth is now the Florida bass, right? And its actually record is, I think is like open. Like, I don't know if it's open, but it's not nearly what it will be when someone.
There's a lot of debate too because of the George Perry fish theoretically being a Florida strain. It's like we'll never know because that fish was never actually.
I know that.
It wasn't real, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But spotted bass records are open because all those were Alabama bass, and now that Alabama's gotten separated, there's a ton of spotted bass records open. Line class records.
Submit my 4-pound Kentucky.
That's right. Do it.
Missouri state record.
That's right. You could have a world record, man. Forget Missouri. So yeah, guys.
For a week,
Yeah. Well, I am pumped, man. Pumped to get down there. Excited, stressed, nervous, all the above. And it's going to be what it's going to be at this point, guys. If we can get your footage on that screen, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be great. That's at the very minimum. If that happens, which I think that can happen, then it's going to be great. We're going to hopefully live stream the whole thing, the awards. But yeah, I can't wait to see how the first one goes and then how that compares to like a third, fourth, and fifth when we kind of get the whole thing like dialed in a little bit more, the whole concept. So, but we'll have a good time. All the people coming to these things have the right attitude, and I appreciate you guys and your time. So.
Let's go out with some jungle music and little Tarzan.
Do it.
I'll leave you guys. Also, don't forget to buy your Georgia fishing license.
Yeah,
good tip. That was my tip. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week because we'll all be in Georgia.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Fun one. See you.
See you guys.